Okay, so a year ago I created this web animation, recreated this web animation I saw from awards.com. It's from a website called Buzzworthy Studio, and I recreated it with React and ReactSpring. Now it's only a small part of the animation, but I'm going to try and make a tutorial for it. Now the original tech stack for this video, this web animation was with a library called ReactSpring, but I'm going to be changing that with Framer Motion, mainly because I think Framer Motion is easier to use and it's much more, well, the mental model of it when you're using it is much simpler compared to ReactSpring, where there's a lot of going back to hooks when you just want to animate the JSX element, which doesn't make sense sometimes. So yeah, this is going to be the first project I'm going to be using Framer Motion on. Well, first major project I'm going to be using Framer Motion on. And so I'm going to be recording the whole process of trying to make a tutorial for it and streaming it. So later on I'm going to condense it down to around a 30-minute, 15-minute video, hopefully. Depends on how many components I decide to animate. Now, as for the whole tech stack, aside from React and Framer Motion, obviously, I'm going to be using Next.js. And the reason I'm using Next.js is maybe I will include page transitions, which is very important in today's web. Obviously, it's very important for any website to have pages, and to animate between those I think it's going to be a nice little challenge, and I think it's good tutorial content. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah. I'll get started. I'm going to try and explain most of the things that I thinking when making making the components. So anyway, so there's a lot of boilerplate code. I'm just gonna remove everything except for the global ones. Sizing should have height 100%. By the way, maybe someday I'm going to try to make this stream like an Ask Me Anything kind of format, and the tutorials or the things that I'm doing are just the background. Like, mainly that's the goal of the whole stream. But at the end of the day, I will still try to make those tutorials, hopefully. There we go. How much boilerplate code? Like that. VS Code Vim's not working with me. Okay. Call this root. Maybe we should just use plain CSS. Nah. Let's try using this. So this is called styled JSX. Has a lot of advantages with server-side rendering. That's why they use it. But anyway. So the first component I'm going to try to make is the image pop-up, the one that animates at the background when you change the hover item. So that's the first component I'm going to try to make, and then later on followed by the text. And then yeah, you'll notice there's also another thing, animation that's going on. It's this one, the side, the white border that opens like a door. That's the last component we're going to make. And then the menu, there's actually an animation for that as well, but we'll see if we'll add that. I want to, but it requires a lot of time. So anyway, let's start. Actually never used style.jsx before, so this is also going to be my first time using it. Let's go root. This to be height. So we're making a container. Next thing we're supposed to put here is a container for the images. Let's just call it images container. 100%. Div. That's fine. Actually, let's try opening the local server. I haven't even tested this. Okay, so the default root element of Next.js seems to be doesn't have any height. So you notice here in the root, it's actually not there. If I add background color blue, for example, see you're not gonna see it. That's because the root element is not, it does not follow the body in the HTML, which has a height of 100%. So it looks like we'll have to add here in the global underscore next, I think. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, now we see it there. Root seems to be what's wrong with this? Which container? Where are we? Okay, maybe I should use plain CSS. Damn it. Like ones will be affected. You can also use. Let's start with making this a subcomponent. Called image container, the TSX. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention I'm using TypeScript, and the reason I'm using it is because it's just so much better to get type checking, especially when you're using new frameworks that you don't know how to use. It just helps a lot. There's a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get over how to use TypeScript, you tend to carry it over all the frameworks that you use, as long as they're well typed. I don't need this. Image container. Let's see. Oh, I made a mistake. This should be here. This should be here. Oh, there it is. Okay. I don't know what I did. Oh no, that's the global styling. So how about the component? Need to import it. Container. Okay, now we have the image container, but it doesn't have its styling. I don't know why. Let's see. Style JSX. What's wrong? Okay, this is bad. If I can't figure it out in like 10 minutes, I'm gonna move to plain CSS. Doesn't really matter what styling I use because it's not the main content for the tutorial anyway. But if it's gonna cause me more trouble, then I'll change it to CSS plain. Why though? I'm stupid, oh my god. Okay, now it works. Classic. So it looks like I need the old project just for referencing the colors. Let's see. This is the original project. It's using styled components and plain JavaScript. Anyway, I'm looking for the color. Maybe we just oh, I'm stupid. Cine right. Start because it's not using. Okay, run start. What? Okay. Wait a minute. I don't know what port this runs on. You're running on the same port. Okay, so I can't run them both at the same time, I think. Yeah, I can't. Anyway. This won't work. It's better to just read it from the code. Guessing this is the primary color. So I want to add that as a background. Ideally, the tutorial would not contain all these CSS because it's pretty boring, I think, and doesn't really matter that much. Okay. So let's start adding those images. First, I'm gonna make a constant. Wait a minute. Okay. That has all the images. Let's call it images. Just an array of links. So see here, I've already added those. Actually, let's try adding one first. Image source. So with Next.js, you don't import the image like you do in React, create React app. You link them via this public directory. I think. Let's try. JPEG. I should. Yeah, okay, it's not found. Let's try this. Okay, that works. So, yeah, let's make a links for those. This is gonna be a bit of a hassle. Post JPEG. Okay, this is gonna be a hassle. I don't know the order though. Let's see. Oops. Okay. Oh my god, excuse me. I'm sorry. Can't type. Wall. And then photography. Okay, I'm not gonna add everything for now. I think 5 is fine. Let's map through those. Oops, that's not supposed to be there. This should be source. And then let's just return an image. Not gonna worry about accessibility, so I'm not gonna add alt text and stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Styling. Let's just call this class name image. So one advantage with using style.jsx over plain CSS is it has scoping. Meaning even though I use such a simple class name, if another component uses the same class name, it's not gonna cause an issue. See, if you look at here, there being, for example, root. Okay, maybe on build time, I don't know. I'll check later. So each image needs to be position absolute because they're literally on top of each other. If you look at the animation, actually only the opacity changes and the little scale. That's it. And then you just have to delay the image to make sure that they don't intersect. Like one needs to completely disappear before the other reappears. So let's do 100%, height 100%, a lot of 100%, obviously. So now one is on top of each other. Is that object fit? Nah. No, it's CSS. Yeah, object fit. I'm not getting the suggestions, so I have to make sure. Oh, okay, the image was already... Yeah, the image was confusing me because I thought it was supposed to be centered. Anyway. Okay, so what's next? You can see there's a slight overlay, like a dark overlay for each image, I think, but not... I'll do that later. Let's start with the animation. So it's time to import framer motion. Let's see the docs. Right, okay, I remember now. So motion. I think it's better if I turn a motion that div that wraps the image, simply because of that overlay that I saw a while ago. Motion.div, delete that, delete that. Okay. Yeah, that's it. One thing I realized is I don't have a way of controlling the state. But anyway, let's start with animate, and then opacity. This is why I use TypeScript. You see, I get code suggestions when using this framework. I don't have much experience with this, but it's very... I don't have much experience with framer motion, but with the type suggestions, it's very easy. So it goes to 1, and let's say scale to 1 as well. But we have to define the initial, format that. Obviously it starts with 0 and then scale with 0.8. I think that's fine. Oop, not that. Okay, that doesn't look good. All right, okay. Wait a minute. Why? Oh. Class name. I don't want to make confusing class names, so I'll just call it item container. Okay, maybe not the item, just item. Okay, maybe a wrapper. Sorry about that. Percent with 100%. Okay, this one has to be position relative. Okay, why? The styles are being added though. Okay, I'm not sure if... Okay, maybe I have to check this. That's not cool. Not going to be easy to work with. Hmm. I don't think it's gonna be. You know what? Yeah, forget this. Forget this. It's just great. Now I'm gonna drop all the files at the root of the pages folder. Mainly because I don't think it's very confusing if you're gonna follow a tutorial with all these subfolders, I think. So I'll go with that. I'll rewatch it and see if it's actually viable. Anyway, how do you use CSS and Next.js? Okay, that's easy. Image container, that's CSS. Let's move all this. Does it still work? Robots cannot be imported from files other than custom app. That's not fine. Okay. No. This is just a default app.tsx. I'll voice over an explanation later on. But the only reason I'm adding it is because I need to import the CSS files here, I think. Which kind of sucks. Okay, you see that? It works now. But it's not very clean. I'll keep this for now. I don't think it matters anyway. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna be very simple to follow if I try to make style JSX and then motion components, you know, work well together. I don't know why it doesn't work out of the box. Anyway. So yeah, that works. Now the photos are very bright. That's what I was trying to, that's why I wrapped it in a div. It's because those are container. Let's try adding a oh, this is not SCSS. Okay. So just add it before. I'll just call it after. Once again, position absolute, type 0, depth 0, width 100%, height 100%, background color, let's call RGBA 0.5. Yeah. Why doesn't it work? Wrapper. Huh. What? I don't understand. Okay, maybe this is okay, this is Should have done more planning. And they're all gone. This is not being considered. Why though? Why not? Wait, is this even being added? It's not. Now it's being added. Okay, I get it. So now the stylings are in the wrong place. The images, a wrapper for an image. This is a wrapper for an image. Okay, I'm changing it again. And then these guys, just these ones. You saw that was because this images container is not centered by. Okay. It's not relative. And then it's also overflowing the body and the causing scroll bars. Oh, now they're gone. Okay. So obviously we'll have to start them all at 0. Next, let's start it at so these are just TypeScript specific stuff. They're basically like prop types, except easier. So I want to use and add an active index to control which image shows up first. Well, active index, it's obvious. Number, active index. Then in the wrapping component, let's move that here. Close that, maximize this. The reason I'm adding the state here is because we're going to make a separate component for the list. So the list is the one that changes the state. And we just pass that number to the image container. Ideally. Yeah. Use state. So 0. Actually, it should be null. I'll call it active item instead. Active item. For this one, let's rename this to active item. So I know I could use unmount animations here, but I don't want to because there's no point. It doesn't really matter if the image is there or not. It's not gonna cause issues for like the rest of the page. But normally you could do that, like completely remove this image via animation. That's the power of framer motion. But for now, we're just gonna hide it. So it's still there, just invisible. So active item is equal to index. Then you do that. If not, just an empty object. Or did I make a mistake? Oh. So they should be, yeah, they're gone. So now we need to make a rough component of that controls all this. Let's see, what's a good component? Let's just make an ordered list and an li. I need these images. I just copy it. Okay, let's create a new file called constants. Yes. So it's a simple constants file. Export that. Can delete this. And then port. Actually, I could just go to images. Command period. Import images from constants. Okay. Now here we can do the same. Images. Yep, it's imported. Map. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, map. Not actually going to use its content. We're just going to use the index. I'm just going to return an li. Yeah, let's not make it complicated. Just use index as the name. It's not there, so this is because list. Again, this is just a rough component because I really don't want to work on this right now. I want to focus on the images animation. Okay, relative, and actually put a z index of 1. Oh, it's over here. Okay, maybe precision absolute again, which is natural for the animation we're trying to make. A lot of on top of each other. A lot of components that are on top of each other. Close that. So yeah, it's right here. So this is wrong. Should be like this. Let's call it item. The style. Okay, that didn't work. Margin. Padding 0. Okay. Precision absolute. I need to put it up top. Okay, maybe let's just center it because it's kind of annoying. I think display grid would work well. Align items. Justify. Why? Because they're not 100%. Okay, those items are way too tall. Because the grid itself is tall. Yeah, this won't work. Let's just give it a fixed height. 100 pixels. Bottom 0. And what? Can't style. What do you mean? You know what? Yeah, that's easier. Okay, so let's add some spacing between the items. Just plain. Oh, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. Okay. List item. Margin 16 pixels. Add the class name. Okay. Okay, maybe I'm working too hard on this. Fuck it. Font size 22 pixels. That works better. Okay. So now I want to capture the hover on hover of each item and then change the index based on that. So there on hover? No. Mouse over. Forgot the difference between on mouse over versus on mouse enter. There's a difference. It does not bubble. Mouse enter event does not bubble. That's what we need. Yeah, we don't care about bubbling. Set active item index. This should already work, I think. Yeah. So very basic animation. I should log the okay, so that's bad because it's not animating out. That's maybe because we didn't pass an alternative. Okay, that looks really bad, but okay. We'll fix that. So now we have a way of controlling the animation. Well, controlling the state. But you'll notice that in the original one, you can actually exit out of the items and then it could go back to all the images being hidden. So I need to do that. And I remember struggling with this before. But you have to, instead of adding the on mouse out, on mouse exit, on the list item, you have to add it to the UL because it would fire so many times for each item, which you don't want. So on mouse, I'm guessing leave. Yeah, that's the right one. Set active item to null. Problem is the UL is actually very big. Okay, let's fix that. I need to add a containing element. And then the containing element is supposed to be the one that aligns the UL, but the UL remains a very small box in the center. So let's add this one. Remove that. This one. Stay there. Stays here. Okay. So this one has, I guess, another display flex. Align items center. Justify. I don't get suggestions, which is kind of annoying. Oh, it's gone. What happened? I didn't add the class name. There we go. Okay, now it works. See how when I leave, let's add a border here. When I leave the box, that's what fires the exit animation. Okay. Next, the actual choreographing of the animation. This is the hard part, actually. This requires a lot of tweaking. And I'm just gonna look at the old code because let's try to keep it short. Let's see, route. Nope, not that one. Go to home. Interesting. Should show. So there's a delay and then there's a duration. But the delay when what? Okay, see, this is why I wanted to move from ReactSpring to Framer Motion. Now, I like ReactSpring. It was amazing at first, but this is a good example of why you're handling the animation outside of the JSX. You're handling it here on a hook. It's okay. It's not that bad. It means you can manage, you can pass variables and whatnot. But you can do that the same thing with Framer Motion on the JSX. Now I'm aware that ReactSpring has the render props, but I think they marked it as obsolete. I don't know. But yeah, it's just much easier to put animation code with JSX because they go hand in hand. I don't know why it's scale here. Let's try using that value. 0.08. Oh yeah, that looks way better. It's a good thing I looked at this because I don't remember all the calibration and stuff, and it requires a lot of tweaking. It could take like 3 hours just to tweak. Maybe not 3 hours. That's a lot. So now we need to add a delay. I think Framer Motion has a page for that. I think there's I think it's called orchestration. Yeah, orchestrate. There we go. We could add variants when after children. Interesting. I'm actually not going to be able to use all of these features of Framer Motion, I think. I'm going to try, of course. Okay, I think this is a much better approach. Yeah, using variants. Be right back. Okay, let's continue. It's been 51 minutes. Start by adding variants. I think it could be placed here. Oh no, let's put it outside the component. It's not fire. It's not reinitialize it every time the component renders. So visible, this one. And hidden. Okay, I don't get type completion. That's because this one has the types. So yeah, you could add that. Animation variants. Nope, we do not have that. Okay. Oh, I wonder if animation props. Let's look for it. Ah, no. Wait a minute. I saw variants here. There we go. Okay, these are all. Yeah, that's good. CSS properties. So that means I can add here 0. Now I get type checking. And scale 1. So for this one, I believe you can change this to variants dot. Why am I not getting? I'm not sure if this will work. Let's check the docs. Ah, you add a string. Okay, why? Then list variants. Oh, okay. Then I believe you get it here. Okay, no. Let's try anyway. Visible. And this one's hidden. Does it still work? Okay, it still works. So now we want to add a delay. I believe for the excuse me. We need the delay for the entrance. Yeah. What? 5 milliseconds? Maybe this is wrong. Start with 200. I think it's a transition prop. Yeah. So this is framer motion specific. You'd add transition, the configuration for that specific animation. So here you put the CSS properties you don't like to animate, but here you could add another options object. So yeah, you get delay here. So let's add 200. And when hiding, we don't want to add. No, we don't want to add any delay. Okay, now it doesn't work. Maybe this is 200. Let me check. delay. I think this is seconds, not milliseconds. So I want 0.2 for that. There we go. Much better. So now the animation does not intersect, but the easing doesn't feel right. You'll notice it's not as fluid as this one. I don't actually know what easing this one uses. Let's check. If I'm not mistaken, this is using a spring. It's like a physics-based animation. Right now we're using the default of framer motion, which I think is a little bouncy. You can actually see it in their homepage. Okay, that's wrong. So framer motion. If you notice the square, it bounces. Yeah, that might be the easing that's being applied to this one. So it doesn't look very smooth. How am I gonna figure that out? I think framer motion has spring. Okay, transition types. Let's try that. Okay, I need to add this object here. Delete that. Okay, there's still bounce, but it's much better. Or so good, I think. Damping. Stiffness. Maybe this is what we need. Okay, let's try that. Stiffness 50. Okay, I lost my... I'm using VS Code Vim, by the way. Maybe a topic for another video. Okay, that's way too much. What happens at 10? What the heck is this? Stiffness of the spring. Higher values will create more sudden movement. Okay, so let's try 150. Much better, but I really don't want to add that bounce. Rest delta. I don't need that. Spring will oscillate indefinitely. Let's just try framer motion, move bounce effect. This is kind of stupid search, but maybe. Never mind. Okay. Stiffness. Damping. Maybe more damping. Let's try. It's a little hard. Okay, no. This is what I mean by it's hard to tweak animations. It's not... You do it over and over again until you get it right. We really need to remove the bounce effect. Really hard. Wait a minute, I just saw something. Bounce stiffness. As of the bounce spring. What is this? If mirror maps, this affects the stiffness of the bounce spring. Create more sudden movement with 500 default. Let's just try. I'm not getting it here. That might be because it's for a different type. Yeah, type inertia. Takes type inertia. An animation that decelerates a value based on its initial velocity. Yeah, I don't know. You know what, let's try all these simple easing values rather than the... I don't know what's a good easing value though. I have, I think, code I can open with it. Let's try this one. Doesn't feel right. I mean, at least it doesn't have the bouncing. Let's try easing. No, it does not mean it ease out. It's much more acceptable, I think. Let's try reducing the delay. 180. Too soon. Better, but still not the same. It's much more snappy. I think it's okay, but okay, I'm gonna try for like 10 more minutes. See if I can find a way to remove the damping. Inertia. Okay, let's try this. Let's use type inertia. You know what? let's just try the default. So I'm gonna make an object to just store the options because I keep typing it in two places. No, not this. Okay, comment that out. See what we got. Nothing. Weird. Whoa, that's trippy. Okay. Yeah, no. Power. The values are so weird though. Whoa, it's still going. Yikes. Okay, no, never mind. This will take longer to figure out. Let's try spring one more time. Stiffness, let's try 150 again. I just really want to remove the bounce. Oh, I think that's it. Yeah, I think this is okay. Maybe increase the stiffness a bit. The delay on the initial one is a bit too slow. Oh yeah, I think this is good. That's the first component. Much easier to implement in my opinion compared to ReactSpring. So that's the first component. I don't know if I'm gonna start making the second one today. Excuse me. This is the easy part. Like the hard part is notice the text, how it fills up. Well, it's not super hard. So anyway, this is gonna be the first one. I think I'm gonna end the stream. Even though, yeah. I will try to compress this to a much more consumable video because there were a lot of figuring it out moments, which I think was, yeah. Anyway, see you later.